so piano.
Hello everyone. I am going to try to keep this video as short and on point as I can. This is my 6th time making it, so hopefully 6th time is the charm. This video will be the first of a series that I'll do, which, depending on what people want me to make about it, I have a few that I already want to do. I'll talk about that though as well. Whatever people want me to make the rest of the videos on, because I can really go into a broad different types of ranges with this conversation on the Matrix. And I really don't call it the Matrix. That's just what everyone knows it as, mostly because of the movie, which made it a popular term to use. But basically, to explain what the Matrix is, you really have to know more about yourself and who we actually are as a being, not as a human body. Because otherwise the Matrix doesn't really make sense. If you think about it as just this world and this is it, the Matrix doesn't make as much sense. When you know that you are actually a spiritual being and that you're basically just energy, then it all makes sense why it's happening. Well, I'll start out explaining what we actually are first. We are not our bodies. We are spirits. We are souls. Whatever word that you want to use. We're pure energy. We're pure consciousness. We vibrate at a certain frequency, which for us to come to this planet, we need to inhabit a human body. Otherwise, we would not be able to interact with anything that's here in this world. So, the Matrix makes us think that we are only human, is one of the things that it does. The other thing that it does, which this is the whole point of the Matrix, is it steals our energy. It steals our energy and is using it for other purposes, which I have my ideas of what they're using it for and what the energy is being stolen for, which I won't really get into in this video because it really doesn't matter, because it's obvious that the Matrix is here. It's right in front of you. It's right in front of everyone. It's literally right in front of me right now. You can't look anywhere unless you're standing straight in the middle of nature with nothing around you. Then that's the only place that you will be where you are not surrounded by the Matrix, the program. That's really what I call it. I call it the program. You can think of it this way. It's basically like how a computer works. With a computer, you have the operating system, which is either Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. That's what gets installed on the program or on the computer so that you can actually use the hardware of the computer. Without the operating system, you would be able to do almost nothing on the computer because you don't know how to use it. And the programs are things that get placed in the operating system that do different functions for you. There's word processing programs that allows you to write a document. There's video editing software. There's photo editing software. There's games that you can play on it. There's the internet. That's a program that's on your computer, the web browser that accesses the internet, which I'll talk also about a little bit about what the internet actually is, because the internet actually links up to something else about us. And all of these are different programs. Even antivirus and the viruses, they're both just different types of programs. And when you compare that to our world, you have the Earth. The Earth is the operating system. Our body is the operating system. It's the base operating system that we're using. It's part of the Earth. Then you have the programs that are laid in front of it, which is the Matrix. You can even sort of look at nature as a sort of program, but nature is built in really into the operating system. So it's really an integral part of the operating system. Without it, it would not function at all. Just like there's core features that are in Windows and other operating systems that if you took them out, it would completely be useless to you because it has so many different uses in it. Nature is the same way when it comes to Earth. If we didn't have nature here, this place would be completely useless to us because nature is what really makes everything work here and everything go around. It's the natural flow of everything, the natural flow of the energy in this world. And on top of all of that, you have these programs. And there's a wide array of programs, which is really what I'm talking about when I'm saying that I can really go into a lot of different directions with this, because they're all so different. They all go in depth in so many different ways in themselves. I can spend hours talking about each one of them specifically. So I'll just focus mostly on the main ones that people see every day and that they interact with every day, that will get the point of what the Matrix is across, which would be the entertainment industry, which would be the news, the media, sports, music, movies, television. All of those I consider entertainment, because even the news is entertainment. It's really not the news. It's not anything that tells us anything that's actually real. It's entertainment for us. A lot of people don't think of it that way, but that's how it's given to us. Besides that, another part that's huge is subliminal messaging, which is all in the entertainment, and it even goes outside of the entertainment. And that's really what drives the Matrix and makes it keep going, is the subliminal messaging. I think of it as like the core program. Without the subliminal messaging, none of us would be partaking in any of this, because we would see what it's really doing to us. And when I say we wouldn't be partaking in it, I mean all the entertainment stuff. We wouldn't want to do any of that. We wouldn't want to spend our energy and our money, which is just a different type of energy. It's our energy turned into a physical thing. We wouldn't want to spend all of that into the entertainment industry if we actually weren't being told to by subliminal messages that we have no idea is in front of us at all times. There's actually quite a few, but I'm going to go over a few different ways that they code the subliminal messages, which is why we don't even know they're there. They're all coded right in front of us, but we've never been taught what the code is, so we're completely blind to it, and our subconscious is getting these subliminal messages. Again, the subliminals are for our subconscious. When you're conscious, the subliminal messages do not do anything to you, because your subconscious is no longer there even. You take your subconscious and turn it into your conscious, which means that you're using it then. They're not using it, you're using it. And when you're using it, you see right past all the subliminal messages. You see past the coding, and you see the source code, which when you're looking at a computer program, if you want to see what that computer program's doing, you have to go to the source code. You can't look at the end product and really know how it's doing what it's doing, because it's already been programmed and is done in a certain way to make it happen. And unless you go to the source code to actually see where it's making the different things happening and why it's doing these certain things, you're never really going to know. And it's the exact same way here in this world, except we're not told that we have to go to the source code to really understand it. The people who created the Matrix and these programs want us to stay blind to it all and keep partaking in it so that they can take our energy. And there's a few different ways that they do these subliminal messages. The main few ways, though, are through numbers, which would be numerology, which comes from Egypt, and gematria, which is another type of numerology, but they take our English language and all other languages as well, and they take it, and every letter actually breaks down to a number. So they are taking the language and making it into a number system, which is all our language is. It's an advanced number system that we don't understand at all. That's why the English language isn't here to help us. It's here to imprison us. We were given it. If we're given something, it's not here to help us. It's here to imprison us, or it's here to take something from us, actually. Nothing here is free. That's a saying that I'm sure you've heard before. That's because it's true. Even if it's free and you don't have to pay for it with your energy money. You're paying for it with your energy from inside you in some way, shape, or form. And with gematria, it's as simple as each letter equals a number. And an example would be my name, Korey, Korey. There's a few different forms of gematria, which there's actually quite a few different forms of gematria because they've coded the numerology in different ways so that they can use it in different industries, different areas, depending if they're using a long phrase, just a word, or if they just want to hit a certain energy, they use the different codings to make sure they hit that energy with that word or phrase or what they're trying to do. And my name equals 74 in one type of gematria, which there's tons of different words that equal to 74. And that's because they all carry this energy. My name also equals 444 in Jewish gematria, which is a type of gematria used to code the English language. There are a ton of different things that equal 444 in the English language or in Jewish gematria. And that's because they're all hitting that specific energy. But when you talk about the numerology and the energy that they're tapping into, there's a duality to it. Just like everything in the world right now, there's a duality to it. It's either good or bad, the yin or the yang, hot or cold, water, fire. It's either or. And with the energy, it's the same thing. It's either helping you or it's against you. And when they put these codings in front of us, it's always against us. It's never to help us. We can use it ourselves to help ourselves, but we can only do that once we are aware that we are energy beings. And once we are aware that we are energy beings, we can take over the codings for ourselves and start doing it ourselves from a outside level, not from this world, because we are infinite beyond this world. And I won't get any farther into that with this video, but because it's a duality, it's not always against us. It can be for us sometimes. And because it's using our energy and the energy of the earth and the world that we're in, it also naturally occurs in the nature of the world as well. So just because you're seeing these numbers doesn't mean that there's someone that's making these numbers appear in front of you. It could be you doing it. It could be the natural flow of the world putting them there in front of you. But when you're looking at the entertainment industry and companies, the names of companies, the slogans they use, even the names of the actors, the names that they play in movies, the names of musicians, the names of the music titles they use, all of those are coded with the gematria in some way, shape, or form. And none of that is by mistake, though. None of that is natural to the universe, because that's something that someone's creating. And when you create something, you're injecting the energy into it. And they're injecting the type of energy that they want into all of these different entertainment industries. And none of it is here to help open us to what's going on. Obviously, because if you're looking at it and you're using it how they put it out there, you're going to have no idea what any of this stuff is. They don't tell you what this stuff is, because this is what they're using. This is what they're using to program us. We are the robots. We are the artificial intelligence that's moving along through this world as biological robots, doing what we're told through the subliminal messages, through the programming, through the matrix set in front of us. And once you become to understand what it is, you start to see past it all. You start to see exactly what's going on. And another way besides the gematria and the numerology, well, before I get to that, I'll include a channel in the description about gematria, Zachary K. Hubbard's channel. He has over 1,000 videos on gematria. He tells you how to use it, because you can do it yourself. You can sit down and break down stuff about your life, your name, the street you've lived on, events of your life, things that have happened, and you'll see that they line up with certain dates, they line up with your name, they line up with the streets you've lived on. All of this stuff lines up because it's woven into the destiny of us. The problem is we're allowing someone else to control our destiny when we're partaking in the matrix. Once we are aware of it and know what's going on and we start doing stuff for ourselves, we take control of our destiny. So the numbers, and which are just the energy, are still there, but it's in a way that we're controlling it instead of what we're actually looking at controlling it. And an example of that is my name, Korey, equals 29 in another way of gematria, and my last name, Brandolino, equals 50 in another way of gematria. And my birthday is on May 29th, 5/29, and in numerology, zeros don't count because zeros don't equal to any energy. So my birthday is directly in my name. And I don't have a middle name, so that is just my name. I just have my first and last name. So my birthday is in my name, which is by the divine forces of this world. I think that I actually chose to do that when I came down here, because I think that some of us choose to come down here, not all of us, but some of us have chosen to come down here to do something specific, and unless we're doing what we came down here to do, we're going to be living in hell within ourselves, because we're going to be trying to figure out what it is, which the Matrix has tricked us into looking externally for what we're trying to do instead of looking inside ourselves. I was in the exact same position as most people are in this world, where I was completely partaking in the entertainment. I was a huge video gamer. I used to spend tons of my time playing video games, tons of my energy, which I'll be making a separate video about. And once I started to see how the world actually was, and I started to question things, the answers of my questions literally started to come right to me without me really even looking for them. They started just to appear in front of me. I just had to take in that information and figure out what it meant to me instead of what I was being told that it actually meant. Because even all the entertainment industry, all of the garbage that is put out in it, because most of it's garbage, most of it is stuff that doesn't have anything to do with us. It's a story, it's some kind of plot line. It's talking about something else that we have nothing to do with. It's talking about some kind of event that happened far away from us, or happened way long time ago, or just making something up completely, and it doesn't help us at all until we start to be able to see through the code that they're putting out in front of us, because they put truth in all of it. There's hidden things in all of the different information that is being put out to us that we can actually take and learn from. The problem is we're completely glancing over all of it when we're looking at it with the perspective that we're given to look at it. The Matrix makes us look at one perspective. It makes us look at everything from the way that they're telling us, which is just one perspective. If you're listening to someone else on how you should look at something, you're not using your own perspective, because you're just going along with theirs. And that's what the Matrix does to us. It doesn't force us. It gives us their perspective, and a lot of us believe it. A lot of us take it on for our own, when it's really not. We all have our own unique perspective to us. And when we're using their perspective, we can't see past the code. But once we start to use our perspective, we'll see past the code of what's going on. Because once we're using our perspective, you start to become conscious of what's going on. So you are seeing past the code then. You're seeing into the source code. And you'll see exactly the different things that are actually trying to be said, or not that it's trying to be said, what is being said in between the lines. They say read in between the lines. That's exactly what we have to do in every situation. In visual and in hearing entertainment, because those are the two main ways that they feed us entertainment, is through visual stuff and through hearing. There's subliminal messages throughout all of our senses, so that's really how they give us all the messages, is just simply through our senses, which we don't have a strong enough understanding of what they actually are. They use the five senses that we think exist only in this world, which they really exist outside of this world. But we have another one, the sixth sense, which they made a movie on to scare us that it's seeing ghosts, which it has nothing to do with that. It's just a feeling that we have. It's the intuition, some people call it. It's a sense that you literally cannot explain within the boundaries of this world because it doesn't exist in any way within the boundaries of this world. It's around it, it's in every nook and cranny of this world, but it's not in a way that someone who doesn't have their feeling, have their sixth sense, or know that it's there, they're not going to understand what you're talking about, and they're going to reject what you're talking about because that is what the Matrix programs you to do. It programs you to react to certain things, like the word conspiracy. If you say that word to someone, they instantly will think that you're crazy because they have been programmed to think that that word is linked to crazy people. There's all different types of things like this spread throughout the Matrix that make it hard for someone to explain something that has to do with it to someone who has never heard any of this or has never looked into any of it or thinks that there's something wrong going on in the world. And besides the gematria and numerology, a couple other ways that they give us the subliminal messages are through anagrams, which is taking a word and just taking all the letters of that word and scrambling up another way to equal another word. Like earth equals heart. So earth and heart have the same energy because they are using the same exact letters. So when you say earth, you mean heart, and when you say heart, you mean earth. So the earth is our heart, and our heart is the earth. We are linked with the earth. And that is just a very simple example that's used all over the place, just as gematria is used as well. Another way is how you actually say the word, how you phonetically say it. Like the word, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but a lot of our words, the word matrix, a lot of our words can be broken down. If you say matrix, if you're using Ebonics slang, matrix, it's my tricks, which my tricks is their tricks. They're tricking us to partake in their stuff so that we are giving them our energy. And when I say tricks, it probably makes you think of magic, because that's exactly what this is. It is magic, because energy is magic within this world, because all magic is something that cannot be explained and something that you cannot see, or just something that doesn't take place within this world. And that's all that our energy is. That is all they are doing. They're manipulating our energy for their own uses. And that's as simple as it is. No matter which portion you're looking at, no matter how they're doing it, no matter how coded it is simply to get our energy out of us in some way, shape, or form and to give it to them. Like money is a physical way that we do it. We go to work. We spend our energy working. We go to stressful jobs that we don't even like. Yet we do it because we think we need this green paper, this green cotton, really, that we need to go and work for to get. And if you think cotton is related to slaves. They tell us that slaves picked cotton. What are we doing with money when we're earning it? We're picking it. We're picking the cotton by getting our money. That's because we are the slaves here. And with that money, that we've turned our energy now into money, which we've diminished it a great deal. We've lost a lot of energy and expended a lot just to get this physical money, a lot of us, because we're stressing and we're doing things that we don't want to do. And then we take our money that we earn and we go and buy these expensive gadgets. We go and buy purses, shoes, clothes, computers, TVs. We buy stuff that we can then go and consume the entertainment with, which then the entertainment is stealing our energy as well. It is a long chain that keeps going. We go and buy food that steals our energy because the food is poisonous to our bodies. And when we're doing all of this, it's just draining our energy. It's just a huge chain of ways to take our energy from us. It's that simple. And for an example would be a concert or a sports game that you go to, an arena that you would go to, or even a movie that you go to go see. All of these seatings go upward. They're all stadiums. They all are in a concave shape, just like the Colosseum was back in Greece's days, because this has been going on for a while if you look at history. Which, when you look at history, you have to remember it's his story. So you don't want to look at it for something as yourself, but it's just information, just like anything else. But you go to these places and you buy tickets. At every one of them that I just mentioned, you go and buy a ticket. That's the only way you can get in, is by having a ticket, which you get to spend your money on. Then once you get in, there's vendors all over the place. There's concessions that everyone's taking, everyone is taking part in. They're buying drinks and food that is absolutely horrible for them. They don't offer good food at these places. I would say almost all of them, they don't offer good products even, because the shirts are made out of polyester. They're made out of things that harm us. They're not even made out of materials that are at least natural to our bodies. They use these dark inks on them that we put that shirt on right away and the ink comes off on our body. It's harming us in every way. Then we go and sit down and we take part in the concert, which the concert is a ritual. That artist is simply putting on a show to garnish our energy, to take our energy. The same goes for sporting events. The same goes for a movie. We're going there to watch the screen that's taking our energy. Two things I just noticed when I was talking about this is concessions and concert. They both start with con. And whenever you have a word that starts with con, it's a con in some way, shape, or form. So concessions is a con of session. We are taking part of the session and it's conning us because it's not good for us. A concert is conning us and we are taking part in this. When you say cert, I think certified. We're certifying ourselves to be con. We're allowing it to happen. We get up and we cheer. We push our energy out there by cheering and singing along with them. We are freely giving our energy at that point. And this goes in to every direction. With the television, it tells lies to your vision, the tell-lie vision. It's not a mistake that it is called that. There's nothing good that is on the TV. There's nothing good that is going to help you on the TV. There's information on it, but unless you're looking at it as information, you're not going to be able to use it in any way for yourself, which even with the TV, I would say stay away from it because it's programming. It is made in a specific way, in a specific manner to get you to sit down and just watch it. It actually lets off a wave that sticks your brain into alpha, which is a brain wave, and you sit there basically with your mouth open just staring at it, which is what people do when they're watching a show. They'll watch show after show after show after show. I seen there was a study that was done where they found that most people, when they watch TV shows, they don't just watch one. They watch a ton of them. They binge watch, which that's because it's making your brain go into a state to where you're just sitting there watching that and you just want to get more, get more, get more. I used to be the same way. I used to do that. Me and my wife watched the whole entire, I shouldn't say it. We watched all of the seasons of Parks and Recreation from 1 to 16 or whatever there are. And we did it all within a month or two. That's how much we were watching it. And It's because of what it does to you, which when we were doing that, we knew some of this stuff. We didn't know it at the level that we know it right now, though. And that's really just what it all is doing to you. It's putting you into a robot, a lethargic state of mind to where you're completely open. They want to get you open, which if you listen to rap, they say that all the time. They're going to get you open because that's what they're doing with the music in music, the sound in music. They get your mind open because of the different tones and waves and energies that they're sending at you. And then they throw the lyrics in there at you while you're open and you're not really paying attention. You could even be sitting there saying it with them. You don't know what the hell they're even talking about half the time because you're in the trance. You are listening to it how they want you to instead of listening past what they want you to. And that's really all I want to say in this video. I'm sure it went a little longer than I wanted to already, but it's that simple. The Matrix is a set of programs designed to steal our energy. And until we realize it and start using our own energy for ourselves and start to fix ourselves, basically, because we're all broken in so many ways right now. That is part of what the Matrix does to us. It breaks us into pieces. We're not whole. That's what we're trying to do subconsciously, but until we consciously start doing it and start doing it from inside, you're never going to be whole. And once you do become whole, you take your energy back. You start to use your energy for yourself. You start to be able to do things for yourself that you actually could never have even dreamed of doing before. Because we're infinite. We go way beyond this world. And because of that, we can make things literally happen in this world. It might not happen in that second, in that moment. And that's because you're looking at it from a time perspective. You have to look at it from an energy perspective. How much energy are you actually putting into what you want? Because it has nothing to do with time. Time is something that we're taught. Space and time are two things that we're taught in this world. Just like a lot of things, they're all part of the Matrix. Just like fear, pain. These are all things that are taught to us from the Matrix. And when you don't look at it with time and you start looking at it with how much energy am I actually putting towards what I want to do, what I desire, you'll realize a lot of times that you're not putting nearly enough energy towards it. And that's because you're putting a little towards it and expecting it to happen in some kind of specific amount of time, which isn't how it works. It's all about how much energy you're putting towards it, how consistent you are putting that energy towards it, and how direct you are putting that energy towards it. We should be focused on one thought at a time. If you're focused on more than one, you're doing too many things because you're only going to diverse the energy that you have and you're not going to be able to do what you want then. When you're focused on one thing, you can do anything. You can do absolutely anything that you want. That's all I'll say in this video. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to specifically get into. I'll be making videos about a few different parts of it that I was partaking in and how to stop doing it, how to get out of it, and why you should get out of it. And also more on the different nuances of it, like time and space and fear and the different things that they put in front of us that make us feel a certain way and why we feel that way. And anything that any of you want me to elaborate on, let me know in the comments. That's it for this one though. Have a good night, everyone.